Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Proverbs of Praise. I'm so excited to be with you guys today. Y'all, I'm at my computer, so if the sound doesn't really match up with the video, please forgive me. I'm at a local coffee shop. It is beautiful out here today, so I figured it would be a great place to record. Something was on my heart and I want to share with you guys. It is about the other F word. That word is failure. So when you look up the definition, failure, it's a lack of success, right? It's something that is not successful in some way. Something may have happened in your life and you feel like you have completely failed, or you feel like someone has failed you. What do you do when that happens? What do you do? For me, I was applying to grad school, y'all, and that is a story I want to give you just a snippet of. Basically, last year, I really felt the Lord called me to apply to grad school. It wasn't something I necessarily was interested in prior. Well, it was something. Ultimately, the goal, of course, was to go to grad school, but I didn't know how that was going to look per se. And so, or when I was going to go, I always felt like when I feel ready, then I'm going to make that transition on to go to grad school. And so I applied to a program. It was actually a doctoral program, 5-year program, up in the Northeast, Midwest. I don't know, y'all. But anyhow. But yeah, y'all, I had put everything that I had into it, y'all. I was struggling, okay? Every day I'd be working on the application, putting everything that I had into it. I felt the Lord calling me to there. Not only did He call me to that specific school, but only that school. Like, Lord, like, be serious. But really, backups, God. It's important to be well prepared, if I may say so. And God was like, nope, that one's school. And I was like, okay, Jesus. Y'all, so I'm already trying to activate my faith, right? Use my faith to trust Him. I was able to actually go visit the school last year. And there I met the director of the program as well as the retired admissions director for the undergraduate program, and as well as one of the tenured professors. He had been there for 50 plus years. And so I was super excited. I really felt the Lord calling me to the school, as I said previously. And y'all, I was just on it. Like, I was going to take hold of this promise of God. I called me to it. I was going to do everything that I could do to make sure that I fulfilled what God had called me to. And that meant for the director of the program, I had emailed her and didn't hear back from her. So y'all, I sought her out, okay? I went to 3 different offices where I thought she may be. I was even prepared to, if she was like, oh, I'm busy, I don't have time, I'm on my way to a meeting, I was prepared to walk over to whatever meeting or walk her to her car to make sure that she knew my face, that she heard my name, all of those things, y'all. I was on it. So I had the privilege to sit with her, talk to her about my passions, what I was interested in, and then ultimately she was super excited about it. She seemed as though she was super excited about it and really into it, and I was like, yes, Lord, thank you, I'm ready. And so just to sum things up, in January I found out that I did not get into that program. And y'all, I was feeling so many things. I was feeling devastated. I was like, Lord, but you called me to this. More so like if I didn't get in, if I did get in, not even, that wasn't so much the big thing, but it was more so that, Lord, did I hear you wrong? Right? Have you ever been in a situation where you really felt like the Lord was positioning you for a certain opportunity, and then you did everything that you thought you were supposed to do and it didn't happen? I would encourage you today and tell you that you did not do anything wrong, that sometimes we can do everything right and still it doesn't work out. And we don't know why that is in the moment. We may never know why that is, but we know that we're called to be obedient, right? And so once we're obedient, the rest is God's job. So I don't know what it's going to look like, but I do believe that God was preparing me for something in the future. I believe that was a dry run, that God allowed me and set up an opportunity for me to completely trust in Him. And honestly, I'm so grateful because of that, y'all. But in the moment, and it's taken me a while to get there, this happened in January. And so much of and to be honest, a big reason why I kind of stopped recording in Thailand, I was in Thailand for 3 months. So all of that time I was there trying to process this through. And I'm so grateful for my friends and family for being my support. Y'all know who you are, for just being there for me and calling me and just checking on me. I'm so grateful for all of those things. So I'm getting to my point here, is that we all experience failure in some area of our life, whether it's we failed somebody has failed us, or even maybe God, you feel like God has failed you. I want to encourage you today and know that God says that his plans are greater than our plans, his thoughts are greater than our thoughts, to give us a hope and a future. And so even though it may not look like your hope in your future right now is exactly how you planned it to be, when it's in God's hands, he can do amazing things. He can do greater than you could have thought or imagined. So honestly, I want God's way more than my way, more than my plan. From this experience, I've learned so much. I learned not to hold on to things so tightly. Sometimes, I know for me specifically, when I look into a job or a relationship, right, and I'm like, ooh, I start thinking and planning all the amazing things that are going to happen and come to pass. And then guess what? Something happens, right? Doesn't work out. But in my head, I've already felt like I've been in it. I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes God is calling you to release things. And I realize, just like a rope, when you're holding onto a rope and the rope is pulling at you, right? Your hand begins to be bruised, and then it begins to bleed because you're holding on to it so tightly, but someone on the other side is pulling it out of your hands. And God just showed me that and said, Taylor, I want you to release things. Don't hold on to things so tightly. Don't hold on to your plans so tightly, because when I'm calling you to release it, when you release it, you can let it go. You can go out of your hands, and you don't have to be hurt by it. But when you're holding on to it so tightly, when you cannot release it, that means you end up getting hurt and bruised, and God did not even intend for that to happen. And so that's a big thing that I learned. I also learned, and I'm just grateful for God's faithfulness in his word. This one is from Proverbs. Since it's Proverbs of Praise, I thought that would be good. And I'm looking at my phone here. This is the Message translation, Proverbs 24, verse 16 specifically, but this one is 15 and 16. It says, don't interfere with good people's lives. Don't try to get the best of them. No matter how many times you trip them up, God loyal people don't stay down long, y'all. God loyal people, not just anybody. God loyal people, they don't stay down long. Soon they're up on their feet, while the wicked ends up flat on their faces. So the other translation also says that you may trip 7 times, but righteous people will get up. Righteous doesn't mean sinless. It doesn't mean that you're perfect at all. It actually means that you're confessing to the Lord and you're admitting that, God, I need you. But you keep getting back up, y'all. You keep getting back up. You keep getting back up. This is not the end to your story. I want to encourage you that today. As I wrap it up, y'all, I just want you to be encouraged today that you're not alone. You're not the only one going through discouragement, disappointment, failure. But failure is a setup for God to really show out, and that God loyal people, when you're loyal to the Lord, ultimately nothing and no one can stop that and stand in the way of that, because God will make sure. He said that you will eat, that your enemies will eat at your feet, right? That they will be at your feet, that they will see all the things that you've done, that you don't need to do anything else. So I'm in it right now. I'm in the middle. I'm in this uncertainty. I don't know where my next plan is. I don't know where I'm going next, but I trust that God is providing and making a way. And so I cannot wait to keep you guys updated on what comes forward. And I also just want to say this one last thing. Y'all had so much faith about this particular thing that I was telling everybody. I was telling my family, not everybody, but people that were close to me, you know, my family, my church family, my friends. And to be honest, the biggest thing was I was worried, what are people going to say? That I failed? What are they going to think of me? That I didn't get into this school? But someone told me, they used some expletives, my grandmother. So it was cussing, but basically I'm going to leave those out. But what I will say was, she said that, girl, people ain't going to be worried about you. Thinking about you, they're going to be thinking about what was wrong with that school and how could they not let you in. So I just want to encourage you that don't worry about what people think. Ultimately, you don't live and serve people, right? You serve the Lord. And so whatever he's called you to do, it's not by accident. Let's leave some encouragement to those that are going through discouragement, frustration, down below. I cannot wait to hear what y'all have to say, and can't wait to keep you updated, y'all. There's transition on the horizon. I'm excited. I don't know where I'm going to be in this world, in this country, but I cannot wait to update you guys. Have a beautiful and blessed